gentlemen, we do have to begin. The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, ably represented here by the DG of NITDA, Mr. Kashifu Inua Abdullahi, the board and the management of MainOne, all the representatives of Microsoft and HPE operated by Selectium. Welcome, 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 distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all of our esteemed guests. We are super excited to welcome you to NerdsUnite 2020. And yes, indeed, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple. And we're just going to do it 3 times to regale everyone and get everyone excited. So I say nerds, nerds, nerds. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NerdsUnite 2020, brought to you by MainOne, a leading provider in connectivity and data services in West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 5th edition, and of course it is a momentous one, and this is because it also marks the launch of MainOne's managed cloud services in partnership with Microsoft and HPE, operated by Selectium. Can we get a round of applause for such a momentous occasion? I'm super excited to get to the very first order of the day, and it is the introduction of our Nerd-in-Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, our Nerd-in-Chief is indeed a telecommunications expert and a business leader of note who has, of course, 3 decades plus of experience not only in West Africa and in the emerging markets, but also in the United States. She's a tech thought leader. She's a titan. And of course, a business leader who spearheaded the effort to build our very first, and I speak of West Africa's very first privately owned high-capacity, open-access, 7,000-kilometer cable submarine, ladies and gentlemen. She is the founder and CEO of MainOne, that elite organization of super nerds, who also built West Africa's largest Tier 3 data center with a capacity of 600 racks. Ladies and gentlemen, she has the superpower of being detailed and being able to regale a strong team of people to follow through on her thoughts of service, especially in enterprise connectivity. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please welcome to the stage Funke Opeke. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as she makes her way to the stage to give us her welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NerdsUnite 2020. So delighted to see so many friends and customers and partners in the room, and delighted that you decided once again, so many people who have been with us in the past, to join us this year. NerdsUnite 2020, you are indeed welcome. It is a new decade, and reflecting over this, we also realized MainOne will be 10 years old in service this year. You know, 10 years ago, we built a cable to bridge the digital divide in West Africa. Today, we are envisaging the digital future of our part of the world. And what does that really mean? Today, our government is envisaging that they would like to see 70% of Nigerians, not 70% connections, 70% of Nigerians connected to broadband services by 2025. And if you live in this part of the world and you've seen the changes that have taken place over the past 10 years and the determination behind these new efforts, you realize it is indeed feasible. So what does that really mean, and what will it mean for all of us in this room? I can assure you it will change how we live how we work and how we do business. And if you're a business and you're not ready, you will not survive the transformation. When I think back of 10 years ago and how we did business in Nigeria, things have certainly changed. And for all of you in this room, I am sure things have changed for you as well. Indeed, if they have not, then you have no business being here. Or perhaps you are only here because the changes that have taken place over the past 10 years have made your new business model feasible. 10 years ago, you could not be an e-commerce company out of Nigeria. You simply did not have enough people connected to access your services. 10 years ago, you could not be a bank delivering services and most of your transaction volume taking place online. People were still coming in and queuing up in your branch offices. These changes have only become feasible in the past 10 years. And when we look at MainOne, at the technology landscape and what we see happening globally today, we can tell you for certain that what is coming is bigger, and this is just the beginning of transformation. So your services will need to be more far-reaching. When you look at the Nigerian landscape, your biggest customer could be in Kogi. Your search for talent could be in Uyo and Maiduguri, no longer just in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Content will need to be available locally. Government services will be online. Content will be increasingly available in local languages. We see what is happening even on traditional media like DSTV, with the introduction and growth of local language channels. And with over 100 million Nigerians online, as opposed to the 50 million that we have today, Nigeria will become a major player in terms of traffic on the internet. Indeed, when we look across the globe and we look at the kind of transformation that increased access, increased 4G and broadband access has done in markets such as India, we can start to contemplate the kind of changes we should anticipate in our market. MainOne in 2015 launched services in our MDXI data center. We believe that is simply the tip of the iceberg, because in the future we will require hyperscale data centers scattered around the country to meet the demands of our market. Nigeria will attract others around the continent to come here, and truly, as we say, we will become that giant of Africa that we've all talked about, based on the size and the pool and the reach of our population over all these virtual connections and with the content that we generate. New jobs will be created to drive the digital economy. Content editors, content creators, commerce, social enterprises, networking, cybersecurity, machine learning applications, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, you name it. The future is indeed coming here. MainOne is working to make our customers ready for that future. As you all know, we started with connectivity solutions here in West Africa, in Nigeria in particular. What we say to our customers are, if you're a business and you need connectivity today and you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go, we have really not much else to say to you. We think that game is already past. Then, of course, in 2015, we launched our data center, and we continue to add capacity to that. Today, the data center is filled mostly with co-located enterprises, some global content, and MainOne cloud services. But increasingly, we see for most of our customers that the future is indeed in cloud. Gone are the days where you have to buy the hardware, you have to buy the software, you have to wait for customs before you can even start developing and testing your application. In today's market, we go ahead and we have gone ahead to buy those servers, to line up the software, and you can simply come and start doing what you need to do to run your business in near real time. As we see with new players, that is indeed the future business model. For traditional businesses and long existing businesses, of course, you have legacy infrastructure to consider, and it is a big transition. But consider it you must, because otherwise you will be disrupted by new businesses who do not have that infrastructure headache. We have in the MainOne data center, and we are launching today in partnership with Microsoft and HPE, Azure Stack cloud services locally resident in Nigeria. What does that mean to you in the audience and what you can do here in Nigeria today? It means here, with a local connection out of our data center in Lagos, you have MainOne Azure Stack services, fully supported on the hardware by HP, they manage the hardware, and by Microsoft, which manages the Azure Stack solution. It is the same Azure Stack that you have in the public cloud, locally resident on that platform, and by being on that platform, you're able to tap into the global knowledge base and support of these global giants, HPE and Microsoft, available locally. MainOne provides the service to you. For all our customers and for all the IT professionals in the room, we say, you need to prepare. You need to prepare for these emerging and growing cloud world that we see, rapidly catching on like a wildfire. You don't need to deploy just Azure Stack locally, because it is not the only option. It is one option, and an essential option if latency becomes an issue for you, because the closest data center on which you can deploy the services today is going to give you 100 millisecond round-trip delay, and you really cannot tolerate those kinds of delays for the transactions that you have or the kind of connectivity you require. Or if data residency is a requirement for your business, and with the regulations we have in Nigeria today, be it NDPR or some of the government applications, you increasingly we're finding customers who need that data residency. So if we're not able to host your data locally, we're able to connect you with the globe, because you are indeed able to offer those services or access additional cloud services through us outside Nigeria. And we will give you an express cloud connection to any of the multi-cloud platforms that you decide to run on. Most likely, as we see with our customers today, you will end up with a hybrid model. Some of your data still resident locally, and some that you're running from outside the country. So depending on where you are in this journey, either you're still on-premise with some of your servers and you're running collaboration in the cloud, but as you deploy and modernize your application suite, you're looking at how and where to deploy the infrastructure, or whether you're co-located already in MDXI, running some collaboration in the cloud and looking at what do you do for your technology refresh. We believe competition and the need for greater efficiency will cause you to reconsider your strategy, and cloud will necessarily become a part of every company's business model. you need to prepare. MainOne is your cloud partner. We have the solutions, hybrid, private, public, multi-cloud, onshore, offshore, with superior connectivity solutions to meet your business needs and deliver the infrastructure services that you require. We have built the team, we have the competencies, we have the best processes, we have all the necessary certifications, we have the best global partners in Microsoft and HP. We are future ready. Are you ready to take this journey with us? Welcome to NerdsUnite 2020.
We're able to see the picture of the future that was painted very elegantly by our nerd-in-chief. She described hyperscale data centers scattered across Nigeria. Imagine how much of a market development that is. Imagine how many more customers you would be able to reach in that future. The point ultimately is, if Funke Okweke says that she's going to do that, frankly speaking, I would bet that it would happen. And think about the fact that probably not only MainOne would be involved in changing the landscape of technology in Nigeria. Cloud services are going to be the norm rather than the exception. And the point ultimately is, if you are not ready, you probably will not survive. But the frank reality is, if you need to get ready, I think MainOne has got your back. And I, frankly speaking, myself got super excited when I saw MainOne sandwiched between two global powers in tech. And I speak of Microsoft and HPE, operated by Selectium. Just seeing that in itself shows you where our tech ecosystem is about to go. Are you ready? If you're ready, I want you to say, unite. Nerds. That's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to let you know once again that we're going to try to make this as participatory and as interactive as possible. So for each speech and each panel, I want you to get ready with probing questions, as it were, as you'll be given opportunities to ask questions. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage our next keynote speaker, or our first keynote speaker, who also comes with about 2 decades of experience in the IT space. And in his case, ladies and gentlemen, he's got industry experience that spans sales, business, technical leadership, consulting, advisory, and he manages the Azure cloud business of tech behemoth Microsoft in the Middle East and in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, he is responsible for strategy. He's responsible for planning, execution, advocacy, governance, and capacity building. And as you may have guessed, he's a super nerd. And in this case, his superpower is unleashing the power of Azure on teams to drive great customer experience and, of course, business transformation. Can we please welcome to the stage none other than the Intelligent Cloud Azure Business Group Director for both Middle East and Africa, multi-country cluster region of Microsoft, Mr. Wale Olokodano. Can we get a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way to the stage?
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, nerds. Can I get some more energy in the room? Good morning! Or is it? No, I'm wrong. Afternoon. So people could have corrected me there, but yay. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me with you. Again, to MainOne, congratulations for being in the forefront of innovation, for driving, going where nobody has ventured to go, if you like me to use that word. And of course, all protocols observed. I'd like to also welcome our minister, represented by the DG of NICTA, a great collaborator with Microsoft, and of course our partners, HP and everybody else. I'm going to be speaking today very quickly around harnessing the power of the hybrid cloud. And this, for me, is really to expand on some of the conversations that Funke has just had with you now around what the hybrid cloud can do for you. It all starts with this notion and this journey that a lot of business leaders today are reimagining their business. Top of mind for them is innovation. How do I really bring business transformation into the things I do, leveraging digital technologies? That's pretty key and pretty critical for a lot of business leaders that we have today. We don't have it, well, yeah. So this is really top of mind for our business leaders today, and they're thinking through, how do I transform? 76% of CEOs today believe that their transformation will come through digital. And what do I mean by digital technologies? This is things around artificial intelligence, things around machine learning, things around, listening, social listening, quantum computing, etc. But the underpinning factor is that these are all underpinned by the cloud. That is something that is going to significantly drive this transformation that business leaders are looking for. And the Nigerian government in themselves are not particularly left out of this. Governments today are thinking about harnessing the power of digital. If you think about it, we used to have a Ministry of Communications. That has changed to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. It's a leading indicator to the fact that even the government has realized that digital is in the fabric of what we do on a daily basis. And it's not just that alone. NITDA last year released a cloud-first policy to guide how public sector institutions can responsibly leverage the cloud, right? With preference being for local cloud providers, but also opening up to international players to engage in providing the public cloud services. This is a strong recognition of the fact that the cloud has come to stay. And it's not just that alone. If you think about it, even when you start to look at how much data is out there as a function of transformation, etc., you will find that the government has decided that they need to put a data protection regulation in place. So these are all leading indicators to the fact that the government is thinking about transformation, is thinking about the cloud. And it doesn't just stop there. When you extend your view even beyond that to Africa, you will find that a research has shown that maybe every company is using one cloud service or the other. Once it's, mostly today, a lot of you probably have Gmail accounts, Yahoo accounts, or Outlook accounts. These accounts are actually software as a service. They are software as a service based solutions, and they are cloud solutions. And when you get into the enterprise, a lot of you are probably using Office 365 today or something like that from Microsoft. Every organization is focusing towards the cloud in Africa. You'll find out that, I have a quote there that says that it's no longer about when to use the cloud, but you start to think about what the benefits of the cloud are to my business. So if you're still in that place where you're like, no, there's no cloud, you've seen that the government is supporting the cloud by bringing policies. Your CEOs are thinking about it, and Africa is rising when you think about the cloud. Even Microsoft, has recognized the fact that in Africa, we need to invest in the cloud. We launched data centers or an Azure region in South Africa, and we have our edge sites. We have 2 edge sites, one in Nigeria and one in Kenya, to ensure that the experience that our customers are getting is it's a very good one. It's a very good one and meets the requirements of their business. Even Microsoft recognizes this, and we continue to invest in cloud services, in Africa. So that said, there will always be challenges, right? And with challenges bring opportunities. A couple of challenges that we see today will have to do with things around data residency and sovereignty. It's top of mind. Everybody wants their data to sit in their own country, right? That's a challenge that you face. Another challenge you face, especially in places like the oil and gas industry, you find that, or mining, you find that latency can be a challenge. I want to build my applications, and I want them to, really be very responsive, because I'm dealing with issues around health and safety. I want to get my data, I want to get my analytics done really quickly. You find challenges around standardization, etc. These are some of the challenges that we find today when it comes to, transforming or using cloud computing. But between this yin-yang of, I want to do the cloud, but I have constraints. What's the strategy? What should you be thinking about as an organization? And truth be told, hybrid is the prevalent strategy. A lot of CIOs, a lot of technology leaders are presenting hybrid as the strategy. What is hybrid? What does that really mean? For me, when I think about hybrid computing, I think to myself that this is a scenario that provides you with a win-win situation. Hybrid provides you with the ability. I was reflecting on this yesterday, and I said hybrid is a solution that actually puts the customer first, that allows you to take your cloud journey on your own terms, right? I'm trying not to give any technical definition here. It really allows you to take that journey on your own terms. And when you begin to think about what does it mean to take that on your own terms, you look at what I have up here. Today, you are a customer and you have, your hyperscale cloud vendors, right, providing you cloud services. You also have information that you have in your data centers. In this case, information that you have, hosted, let's say, with MainOne as an example. And there's a notion of edge computing, where you're actually processing or computing at the edge, with things like IoT devices, where compute needs to happen at the edge. And let me give you a small example of that. I was in a conversation 2 days ago with a large mining company in Botswana. And they were talking about how to improve the health and safety of their miners, in the mine diamond. And the guy said, you know what, Wale, what we're doing here is important to the lives of people. I need to be able to assess the risk based on environmental factors, based on how these people are dressed, based on, various factors in real time. I need the models that you are building based on AI, artificial intelligence. I need this to happen at the site. I don't want the data passed back and then the AI models are happening in the cloud and being passed back. That is edge computing, where you are starting to process information at the edge itself, doing AI and machine learning analytics at the edge. So you find that this is a third scenario that is becoming very prevalent in today's world. We have oil and gas companies here. You have your ATMs. These are all edge computing devices. Your BTSs, they're all edge, and there's IoT sensors, things like that are getting significantly cheaper. Now, when you think about these three services, hybrid is really about the ability to take all the three services together and share data and information around those three services, ensuring that you can have your environment where you are processing some information in your data center, you are processing some information in the cloud, for certain reasons, or you are processing some information at the edge. And you are doing this in a very holistic manner, ensuring that you are managing the services from a single pane across your entire digital estate. And your digital estate here, as I said, will be your public hyperscale cloud environment will be like a MainOne, as an example, where you have your Azure Stack, etc., in MDXI, and your edge solutions. This is hybrid, the ability to run your distributed computing environment across multiple locations using the same consistent management pane that we have. Same skills, same tools, same resources. This is the unique differentiator for hybrid. And at Microsoft, we strongly believe that we are in a unique position to offer hybrid computing services to our customers across the world today. And doing that essentially means that we'll provide you with services that allow you to run your compute in your data center, like with MainOne, to manage those services across board, and using IoT, Azure IoT, to take and run compute for your IoT devices and analytics using our IoT services. And then ensuring that while you do this, the things that are top of mind for you as technology leaders, being management, security, identity, your development tools, are all consistent across the entire landscape for which you are running your services on. So, having said that, how do we make this real for you today? Given the constraints that we have, given the availability of this technology, how do we make this real for you today? There are several use cases that I've put here just to make it make more sense for you in terms of the hybrid use cases that we have. So lots of examples here. Funke has also mentioned a couple of examples. So let me talk specifically about making it real. Our mission as a company is to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. No organization left behind. MainOne is a company that is enabling the digital economy of West Africa. When we come together, we provide you with the first managed cloud service in the country. That is what we're doing today. And that is how we're making hybrid computing real for you as customers and as technology people. I think that deserves a round of applause. We're doing that today by providing you with Azure Stack, as well as a service that MainOne has had for a while, Azure Express Route. Those two services, with Azure Stack Hub and Azure Express Route, on a system that is engineered by HP, we're providing you with the same consistent cloud computing environment that you have in Azure in MainOne's data center, and making that commercially available to everyone. So, what is this service about? Think about it in 3 layers. There's the software layer, Azure, Microsoft Azure, a public cloud service that allows you to be future ready, a public cloud service that is trusted, that is hybrid by design, and has tools for every developer, including open source developers, right? Take that software and then take hardware from HPE, a company that is reputed for building world-class hardware services, all engineered together. So it's one system certified by both of us, and then add that into MainOne's world-class data centers. You get a service that is far ahead of many providers locally in Nigeria, making innovation available at scale for you. So, a little bit about what's our partnership with MainOne like? And Microsoft, why would you even think about MainOne? After all, they are not the only service provider that is here locally. The reasons are up there. I mean, they are pioneers in building, in providing capacity, internet connectivity to organizations. They're an organization that is focused on the customer, providing world-class enterprise-grade services and solutions with 24/7 customer support, certified data centers with an operational practice that is very, very, very admirable and great at that. That's our thinking. They're also a Microsoft certified gold partner. That's like our highest level of competencies on these workloads that you have here. In the data center, they are gold. In cloud, they're a gold partner. And they're also focused on small, medium businesses via the fact that they're also a Microsoft Cloud solution provider. This, for us, is why we chose MainOne. They've invested a significant amount of money in ensuring that they can provide you this service in Nigeria, locally here. And for that, we're very proud to continue to partner with them. So let's kind of like roll it a bit quickly. So what are the benefits that you get from using Azure Stack Hub with MainOne? Primarily, because of the innovation that comes with the cloud, you can think of a reduced time to market. Because of the innovation that comes with the Azure Stack Hub that they're providing, you can think of the fact that, and because your data is local here, you're able to meet all your compliance and local data residency requirements. You might have applications that you want to build today that will require the data to stay locally, but you want the application to be for the world, which means that you can decide to host the data here, and you might decide to build the application in the public cloud. Together, these things form your hybrid cloud computing and give you cloud computing on your own terms, right? Great support coming from them, as I mentioned before. And of course, world-class engineers, great management team. This is what you get when you use Azure Stack Hub from MainOne. So just a little bit about Azure Stack in itself. I mean, when you ask, Wale, okay, this Azure Stack that you're talking about, what exactly is it? It's a completely autonomous cloud. And what that means is that even in a disconnected environment, you can continue to leverage the service. So you don't always have to be connected to the internet to use Azure Stack. And it provides you the same level of management that you get in public cloud here on premise. If you don't need to reskill your people, if you already have an Azure subscription, if you're already using Azure directly with Microsoft, and you've trained your people on how to use it, and then you want to subscribe to the service from MainOne, you don't need to think about reskilling your people. It's the same skills that you have there that you use here. It's a consistent environment. A majority of the services that we have there in Azure, when you talk about Kubernetes, when you talk about a subset of AI services, containerization, Linux virtual machines, all these things are present with MainOne today inside of the Azure Stack. And these are the use cases that you have for the solution. At the edge, as I described earlier on, DevOps is something that is big. You can start to think about hybrid DevOps, data sovereignty, scaling across multiple clouds, and then analytics. These are things that today you can get, or use cases that if you've been thinking about them and you've been worried about the fact that, oh, how do I get this done? Now you can get them done today in Nigeria using services from MainOne. And some people might ask, Wale, I hope you're not bringing an almost dead solution that Microsoft has forgotten about to Nigeria. No, that's not the case. These are the features of Azure Stack that were announced in November 2019. We continue to update the service. And as these features are released, you get them immediately through MainOne. And there's a lot of innovation happening here, you'll agree with me. So you are getting an evergreen platform with this service. I want you to be sure about that. This is new, cutting edge, bleeding edge technology that you're getting with MainOne. So let me quickly talk about the networking side of things before I close out. Today, with hybrid networking, Microsoft has 50, well, you know what? Between when I did this slide, and which was 2 weeks ago, and today, we've added 2 more Azure regions. So we actually have 57 Azure regions. That's how quickly innovation is happening at Microsoft. 57 Azure regions, 130,000 miles of fiber. That is what we have as a company today. 160 edge sites, and we have 1 in Nigeria, and 200 express route partners, with MainOne being one of our express route partners in Nigeria. So we are committed here, and we want to do more. And this is simply what it looks like today. If you have Azure Stack with MainOne here, or you have your data center and you want to connect directly into Azure, MainOne can provide you connectivity directly into the Microsoft data center. So for people that also want low latency or a higher level of security or comfort, MainOne can also provide you that service. This is the level of partnership that we have when it comes to the services that we provide. And I'm showing you the ways in which we're removing constraints that allow you to harness the power of hybrid cloud. Let me use the opportunity to, again, summarize and say thank you for listening. With MainOne, with Microsoft, with HPE, we're giving you the power to harness, the hybrid cloud in order to drive innovation in your organizations. And from today, you can start doing that, from day one. Right now, you can start doing that. You can start driving innovation. You can start driving new solutions. You can start, moving forward with Microsoft, with MainOne, and with HPE. Thank you very much.
When you talk about superpowers, not only individuals have superpowers. The frank reality is that sometimes your organization needs to have a superpower. And I think what Wale has done very elegantly is that he has described to you how MainOne, Microsoft, and the HPE, operated by Selectium, have created the ability to make innovation available to you at scale. And of course, this is through the power of hybrid cloud computing. And of course, he did not stop at describing the benefits, which include, a reduced time to market. For those of you who are also very sensitive to latency, it's important for you to realize that if you use the MDXI Azure Stack of MainOne, you can expect 10 milliseconds. 10 milliseconds being the limit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that MainOne has world-class engineers that provide 24/7 service, as well as an excellent management team. And it was really great just watching and listening to how well that conversation was put around the fact that MainOne is making this available with super world-class organizations like Microsoft and HPE, operated by Selectium. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to just give an opportunity, a very short opportunity, to anyone who has a bit of a response or maybe a short question, as it were. Is there anyone who's got? All right, so we've got a gentleman on the, I think, 7th row to my right. I think we've got only time for maybe